Hey everyone, welcome back to the blog. Today is Tuesday, and honestly, it is a beautiful day outside, but I am stuck inside staring at my screen because I cannot even believe what I just watched on our favorite show. I am exhausted and my brain is absolutely melting from the drama, but we need to talk about this immediately. Grab a coffee or something stronger because we have a lot to unpack today. So let us just jump right into the absolute mess that is Will Spencer right now. I mean, honestly, what a catastrophic downfall for this guy. Just a few weeks ago, he was trying to play the good corporate soldier and keep all the Logan's secrets, and now he is literally sitting in a jail cell. And I do not mean a metaphorical jail cell of his own making. I mean a literal cold hard concrete jail cell with bars. He is facing serious assault charges, and his entire life is basically over. And you guys know how we got here. We watched it all happen in slow motion, and it was just a disaster. Will was already spiraling into this dark, drunken depression because he lost Electra Forrester. He was wandering around the streets, and then he ended up at the bikini bar. And of course, RJ Forrester had to be there because RJ is always exactly where he should not be. RJ was being his usual smug self, and he grabbed Will by the collar. Will swung at him, which was a terrible idea, but he was drunk and angry. But he missed RJ. He missed the guy he actually wanted to hit, and he ended up punching Eric Forrester right in the face. Eric Forrester, the patriarch of the family, the man who just came to break up the fight, and he gave Eric a massive black eye. I mean, what was he thinking? Well, he was not thinking. He was just swinging blindly. And then the cops came, and now Will is locked up, and Ridge is using this as the ultimate ammunition to declare a total blood feud against the Spencer family. But honestly, the jail cell and the assault charges and the whole RJ situation is not even the biggest problem Will is facing right now. Because the writers decided to drop a bomb on us today that I am still trying to process. I am sitting here typing this, and my hands are actually shaking a little bit because I did not see this coming at all. Okay, maybe a tiny part of me saw it coming because nobody ever really stays dead on the show, but still. So Will is sitting in the visitation room at the jail. The lighting is terrible, and he looks exhausted and defeated. He is probably expecting his lawyer to walk through that door. Or maybe his mom, Katie, who is probably ready to yell at him for destroying the public relations of her new company. But the heavy metal door opens, and it is not his lawyer. It is not Katie. It is not Bill Spencer coming to bail him out with his billions of dollars. It is Luna Nozawa. Yes, you guys, Luna Nozawa is alive. She is standing right there in the visitation room of the jail. The serial killer who made Will's life a living hell is breathing and walking and standing right in front of him, and she is not alone. She is holding a newborn baby in her arms. I actually screamed at my television. I am not even kidding. I screamed. Because let us just rewind and remember what happened last year with Luna. She was a literal serial killer. She drugged Will when he was heavily intoxicated, and she took advantage of him. It was a horrible, dark storyline, and then she ended up pregnant. Electra was the one who finally called the cops on her and sent her to prison where she belonged. But then we had that crazy night with the storm. Remember the storm? Luna somehow managed to escape from prison during a massive thunderstorm. Which, by the way, still makes absolutely no sense to me, but whatever, we just went with it. She showed up at Will's beach house soaking wet and looking completely unhinged. She told Will that she had a miscarriage in prison and that she lost the baby. And before Will could even figure out if she was lying or telling the truth, she just ran out into the pouring rain. She ran right into the middle of the street, and she got hit by a car. We all saw it. We saw the car hit her. We were told she died. The show made a whole big deal about how the nightmare of Luna Nozawa was finally over and Will could move on with his life. But I guess we should have known better. Because in the soap opera world, if you do not see a body in a casket being lowered into the ground, and even then sometimes that does not matter, the person is probably not dead. The fans on social media have been whispering about this for months. There were all these crazy rumors that Luna faked her death and ran away to secretly have Will's baby. I thought those rumors were just fan fiction. I really did. I thought maybe I'm being too harsh on the writers and they wouldn't actually recycle the fake death plot so soon, but nope. The rumors were 100% true. So now Luna is standing in the visitation room holding this tiny little blanket bundle. And she looks at Will with that same crazy obsessive look in her eyes, and she tells him that the baby is his son. Will Spencer, is a father. And the mother of his child is a deranged serial killer who faked her own death. Just imagine being Will in that moment. You are already at absolute rock bottom. You are facing years in prison for assaulting an elderly man who happens to be the grandfather of the woman you love. You have lost your career. You have lost your reputation. Your family is in a corporate war because of you. And now the woman you hate more than anyone else in the entire world is standing in front of you holding your flesh and blood. He looked like he was going to be sick. The actor played it so well. Will was just staring at the baby and you could see his entire world collapsing all over again. He is tied to this crazy woman forever now. There is no escaping her. Even if he gets out of jail, he has to deal with custody battles and the fact that his son's mother is a murderer. It is a nightmare, a literal waking nightmare. And let us talk about how this is going to affect everyone else, because the ripple effects of this are going to be massive, starting with Katie Logan. Katie is already having a complete meltdown over the PR disaster that Will caused. She just launched Hope by Logan, and it was supposed to be this huge triumph over Forrester Creations. But instead, the front page news is that the son of the CEO was arrested for a violent bar brawl. Now imagine Katie finding out that Luna is alive. Katie is going to be horrified. Actually, horrified is not even a strong enough word. She is going to be catatonic. Her grandson was born to a serial killer. The press is going to have an absolute field day with this. The Spencer family is already dealing with so much bad press, and Ridge is using every single mistake they make to tear them down. When Ridge finds out about Luna and the baby, he is going to use it to prove that the Spencers are completely toxic and dangerous. He is going to say that Will is surrounded by criminals and violence. And honestly, it is going to be really hard for Katie or Bill to argue against that when Will is sitting in jail and his baby mama is a fugitive serial killer. Katie is going to have to go into extreme crisis management mode, but I do not even know how you spin this. You cannot write a press release explaining away a secret serial killer, baby. It just don't make sense. And then there is Elektra. Oh my gosh, poor Elektra. I know a lot of people have been annoyed with Elektra lately because she has been kind of whiny and demanding, and I get it. She overreacted about the business secrets, but nobody deserves this. Elektra was already completely devastated when she walked into the bikini bar and saw Will standing over her bleeding grandfather with his fists clenched. That visual traumatized her. She threw her necklace at him and told him they were done forever. She moved out of the beach house and she took RJ with her. She made her choice. She chose her family and she chose to walk away from the violence and the lies. But she still loved Will. You could tell she was heartbroken about it. She was grieving the end of their relationship. And now she is going to find out that while she was crying over him, his serial killer ex-girlfriend was giving birth to his son. It is going to completely devastate Elektra. It is the final nail in the coffin for any tiny little bit of hope that they could ever get back together. Elektra is going to realize that Will's life is just too dark and too complicated for her to ever be a part of. I bet RJ is going to be right there to comfort her too. RJ is probably loving this. Okay, that sounded dramatic, but you get what I mean. RJ has been trying to get rid of Will for months. He instigated that fight at the bar and then he played the victim when Eric got hit. RJ is manipulative and he knows exactly what he is doing. He is going to use this Luna baby news to completely isolate Elektra from Will. He is going to tell her that she dodged a bullet and that Will is damaged goods. And the sad part is that Elektra is probably going to believe him because right now the evidence is really stacked against Will. But what is Will supposed to do? He is trapped. He is facing a prison sentence for the assault on Eric. And even if Bill manages to hire the best lawyers in the world and gets the charges dropped or reduced, Will still has to deal with Luna. How did she even survive that car crash? We need answers about this. Did she bribe the paramedics? Did she have an accomplice? Was it a look-alike who got hit by the car? The writers better give us a really good explanation for how she faked her death, because I am not just going to accept that she walked away from a high-speed impact and then hid for 9 months while pregnant. That is just lazy writing if they do not explain it. But honestly, I am so invested in the drama that I might just forgive them if the scenes are good enough. And what does Luna want? Does she want money? Does she want Will to run away with her and be a family? She is a fugitive. The police are going to be looking for her the second she steps out of that jail. Why would she risk walking into a government building like a jail just to show Will the baby? She must have a plan. Luna is crazy, but she is not stupid. She is calculated. She probably knows that Will is vulnerable right now, and she wants to use the baby to manipulate him. Maybe she wants Will to take the fall for something else? Or maybe she is going to threaten to disappear with the baby forever unless Will does exactly what she says. Will is going to be so torn. He hates Luna. He despises her for what she did to him. But that baby is innocent. That baby is his son. Will is not the kind of guy who can just turn his back on his own child. Even if the mother is a monster, he is going to want to protect that little boy, and that is exactly what Luna is counting on. She is using the baby as a shield and a weapon at the same time. It is so twisted and so dark, and I am honestly kind of here for it, even though it makes my stomach turn. I just keep thinking about how this fits into the bigger pattern of the show. We always have these legacy characters dealing with the sins of their past. Bill Spencer has done terrible things. Ridge Forrester has done terrible things. And now the younger generation is getting dragged into the mud. Will was supposed to be the good Spencer. He was supposed to be the one who did things, right? But the writers have just completely destroyed his life in the span of a few weeks. First, the corporate espionage stuff with Logan Creations. Then the violent outburst with RJ, and now this. It feels like they are trying to break Will down to his absolute lowest point so they can rebuild him later. But how do you rebuild from this? Who actually believes this is going to end well for anyone involved? I am also really worried about what this means for Melissa Dillon. Dillon has been waiting in the wings to rebound with Will. She had that weird hallucination dream about him, and she has been plotting to take advantage of his vulnerable state. But is Dillon really going to want to stick around when she finds out about a secret serial killer baby? Dillon is ambitious, and she wants to climb the social ladder. Being tied to a guy who is fighting a custody battle with a murderer is not exactly a good look for a rising fashion assistant. So maybe Dillon will back off, or maybe Dillon is crazy enough to try and help Will get rid of Luna. Now that would be a wild storyline. Dillon versus Luna. I would actually pay to watch that. But let's be real, the main focus is going to be on the Spencer family fallout. Katie is going to have to make a choice. Does she stand by her son and risk the entire reputation of Logan Creations? Or does she distance herself from Will to save the company she built with hope? Bill is definitely going to want to fight. Bill loves a war. He is going to want to crush Luna and take the baby and raise him as a Spencer. Can you imagine Bill Spencer raising Luna Nozawa's baby? That kid is going to need so much therapy. And then there is Brooke. Brooke is already furious at Katie for stealing Hope. When Brooke finds out that Katie's son is involved in this massive scandal, she is going to use it to justify all of her anger. She is going to tell Hope that Logan Creations is a toxic environment and that she needs to come back to Forrester Creations where it is safe. Even though Forrester is just as messy right now. The whole thing is just a massive web of drama, and I am typing so fast my fingers hurt. I need to know what happens in tomorrow's episode. Is Will going to call the guards and have Luna arrested right there in the visitation room? Or is he going to keep her secret so he can figure out a way to get the baby away from her first? If he turns her and the baby goes into the foster system until Will gets out of jail, and Will does not want that, so he might actually have to make a deal with the devil. He might have to protect Luna to protect his son. This is the most impossible situation ever. He is facing prison. He has lost Elektra. His mom is going to be horrified, and he is tied to a crazy woman. I genuinely feel bad for Will Spencer today. And I do not usually feel bad for billionaire heirs, but the guy cannot catch a break. Alright, I need to go process this and maybe take a walk because I am way too stressed out about fictional characters right now. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. How did Luna survive? What is Will going to do? Is Elektra going to stay with RJ? Drop your theories below and I will see you guys tomorrow for another recap. Hopefully I will have calmed down by then, but probably not. Bye guys!